Well, at the UN yesterday, Russia accused President Joe Biden of carrying out strikes in Iraq and Syria to boost his image as the presidential election campaign is heating up, not in retaliation for a deadly attack on U.S. soldiers. We see in these flex their muscles attempts, first of all, a desire to influence the domestic political landscape in America, a desire to somehow correct the disastrous image of the current American administration on the international arena, as the presidential election campaign is heating up. Russia's UN ambassador Vasily Nebenzia at the meeting of the Security Council on these strikes, which was requested by Moscow, said there was no justification for the U.S. action. The U.S. began the airstrikes on Friday against dozens of targets linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard, the IRGC, and allied groups after 3 U.S. soldiers were killed in Jordan in an attack that Washington blames on Iranian-backed militias. Now, U.S. voters will go to the polls in November to elect a president for the next 4 years. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Nebenzia's remarks about Biden. Well, Deputy U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Robert Wood, justified the U.S. strikes in Syria and Iraq under Article 51 of the founding UN Charter, which covers the individual or collective right of states to self-defense against armed attack.
I also want to stress that these strikes are separate and distinct from the coalition strikes in Yemen, which were in response to the Iranian-backed Houthis' lawless attacks on naval vessels and international shipping in the Red Sea. Let me be clear. The United States does not desire more conflict in a region when we are actively working to contain and de-escalate the conflict in Gaza. And we are not seeking a direct conflict with Iran. But we will continue to defend our personnel against unacceptable attacks. Period.
He also reiterated that the U.S. does not want the conflict with Iran to escalate. He also added that the strikes in Syria and Iraq were a separate and distinct operation from U.S. and British strikes against the Iran-aligned Houthi group in Yemen in response to the Houthi targeting of shipping in the Red Sea. The Pentagon on Monday said it was not aware of any Iranian deaths in the recent strikes. Iran's UN ambassador Amir Saeed Iravani condemned the U.S. action as illegal and unjustified.
All of the resistance groups in the region are independent, and their decisions and actions are motivated by their legitimate rights under international law that are ending the illegal presence of U.S. in their territories, stopping the genocide in Gaza, and ending the occupation of Palestinian territories. Therefore, any attempt to attribute these actions to Iran or its armed forces is misleading, baseless, and unacceptable. Iran never seeks to contribute to the spillover in the region.